the catch-22 of hiring admin when you have a pretty small company is that you're too busy doing everything to actually hire and train them, but without doing that, you don't get the relief of having someone help you do the thing. And so I'm sure many of you will have hired someone when it was busy, you train them doing all this extra work, basically paying them to do their job for them whilst they learn to do this stuff, for them to come on board, maybe just about start getting it, or the point where you're like, do you know what, you are slightly better than not worth having you, and then, a month down the line they quit. So that whole process, you paid money and spent time to find them, you paid money and did extra time to be slow to do their job. Finally, they're able to do the job not as good as you in a way that you're upset about, but it's still marginally worth it because you've got more important things to do. And then they go and quit and leave you anyway. What a kick in the fucking nuts. It happens way too often, and especially it's happened for us many, many, many times. And just again now. And it's really difficult because it's like not that big a deal, but it is irritating, really irritating. And so this is one of the issues of not pushing for growth, of not pushing for scale, is that if you don't boost the top line number, this job doesn't become worth it enough to force you to do it. Like, if it became a full-time job, not just a couple of hours a day, you'd have no choice but to make sure it works. And so you are stuck in this place of irritation and complaint, but not enough pain to actually fix it, as are most people who go and pay to solve problems, right? They're in just enough pain to be irritated by it, but not enough to actually pay to solve the problem. And this is the problem. And if you don't have enough profit coming in, which is correlated with how much your top line revenue is, it's also a difficult financial justification to make. Because of the inefficiency, like the equivalent pounds per hour of you doing it, if you're 3 times faster than someone else, ends up being like 50 quid an hour. And you're like, I'd rather just have the 50 quid an hour to spend on something. But that's not the mentality that's going to push you to where you want to be. Yeah, that's it. Just thought I'd share. Because it's an experience and a lesson that we've had multiple times, and we will continue to have. It's a price of doing business. It's not a bug, it's a feature. No matter what level, you will make the wrong hires, you will waste money training the wrong people, which is why they say it costs 20 grand to hire someone. Because it does, in reality. From the inefficiencies to the time, the actual money, the hourly wage if you're paying someone else to do it, etc., etc. Yeah, it's painful, but it needs to be done. But it's just not that bad. Like, no one's dying. You can just do it. So what we are doing, what this has realised for us, is that like we just need to push to scale again. To make these problems worse, but more worthwhile. So yeah, just wanted to share. If you've had that problem, that's the solution that we're looking at. But generally, if you can find a solution that's not hiring people, that works nicer. Like AI is super powerful right now, and you might be able to not hire someone to do the stuff that you need to do, but then other times you do have to. And that leads me into thinking about scaling to a size where you build in redundancies. So our tutoring system, as an example, we have them in pods of 5. So each person is contracted and paid to work 5 hours a night, but they actually only have 4 lessons. So each person has a different hour off per night. So this person's off here, this person's off here, this person's off here, this person's off here, this person's off here. So if one person is sick, the other 4 can cover, always. Which means that illnesses and holiday don't impact our ability to deliver our service. It becomes a bit more difficult to do that with certain other roles. like paying that additional 20% for redundancy, but you can do it. And so we're just contemplating how we're going to do this for our appointment setters that we're going to hire, of saying that we'll probably are going to hire 3, so that when one is off for holiday or sick, and that happens, well, think how much of the year you spend off on holiday or on sick. It's about 1/6 of the year. So it's going to happen half the time. And so maybe we were like, actually, maybe we hire 4 people, so that that redundancy is built in, and or we've got more people to call for cover. But again, these problems are features, not bugs, and we need to work with them. That's it. Thought I'd share. Cool. Keep scaling businesses, improving lives. Later.